Something big is happening in Baltimore, and nobody saw it coming. Isaiah Likely, the guy who has always been in Mark Andrews' shadow, decided to speak up, but not with words. He made it clear he'll answer on the field right now, in the most important year of his contract. Are the Ravens ready for a change like this? Is he really going to take the place of one of the team's most respected names? And what does this mean for the team's future? Stay with me until the end, because what's behind this story could change the Ravens' offense forever. Go Ravens! Isaiah Likely is no longer just seen as a promising backup. With 108 receptions, 1,261 yards, and 14 touchdowns in 3 seasons as Mark Andrews' substitute, he has made it clear that he can offer much more than just depth to the roster. His consistent production, even with limited opportunities, has turned Likely into a real bet for fans and the media as Baltimore's next unquestioned starting tight end. What makes this projection even more concrete is a complete package Likely offers. Unlike Andrews, who has always been excellent as a receiver but average as a blocker, Likely impacts both areas. He can line up as a blocker in the running game and, just as well, find open spaces as a target in the passing game, something that perfectly fits the offensive style built by John Harbaugh and offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Beyond on-field performance, the context also favors Likely. He is 5 years younger than Andrews and, therefore, represents a longer-term solution for the franchise's future. In a league where roster turnover and salary cap go hand in hand, having a productive, young player on a more affordable contract is a luxury. Baltimore knows this, which is why Likely's name is increasingly emerging as a central piece in the offensive rebuild. Likely's rise, however, exposes an uncomfortable reality for the Ravens front office. His salary still doesn't reflect the value he delivers on the field, and that's exactly what the next point addresses. Isaiah Likely is set to earn $3.4 million in 2025, the final year of his rookie contract. This is a significant jump from the less than $1 million base salaries he made in his first 3 seasons. But even with this increase, the number is still far from reflecting the real importance he has gained on the Ravens roster. With stats that rival starting NFL tight ends, Likely currently costs only a fraction of what other players with similar production are earning. The difference becomes even more obvious when looking at contracted players at the same position, tight ends with similar impact, both in the passing game and blocking, often earn annual salaries well above $10 million. In other words, if the Ravens truly see Likely as a future of the position, they will need to be prepared to offer a new contract with much more aggressive figures than the current ones. This situation puts the franchise at a crossroads. If they want to keep Likely long-term, ideally, they should start negotiations before he hits the market with even greater value, something that could happen if he has a dominant season in 2025. On the other hand, delaying this decision could get more expensive, since the NFL market rarely forgives when it comes to young, productive talent. Despite all this pressure behind the scenes, Isaiah Likely has shown he prefers to keep his focus on the field and leave negotiations to the agents. And it's exactly this mature and straightforward attitude that he made clear in his recent interview. During his appearance on the Up and Adams show, Isaiah Likely made it clear he's not worried about contract numbers right now. Instead, his only priority is to play the best football he can. With the phrase, "The flock knows I love being here," he showed love for the Ravens fans and reinforced how much he feels part of the franchise. This emotional connection goes beyond professionalism. It's a bond of identity with the city and its supporters. Likely was also transparent when he said he doesn't think about the end of his contract and prefers to leave talks with the front office in the hands of his agent. This shows maturity and understanding of his role, produced on the field without distractions off it. It's the kind of behavior leaders value, especially in players about to make a big career leap. The honesty in the interview and commitment to performance reinforce the image of an athlete who understands the weight of wearing a Ravens jersey. At a time when many players let contract talks affect their play, Likely chooses the opposite path, putting the team, the fans, and football first. This builds even more confidence behind the scenes that he could be the face of the team's new offensive era. This commitment, combined with his skills on the field, even puts him ahead of Mark Andrews, the current starter. And it's about this direct comparison and its consequences for the roster that we will talk about next.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
What initially seemed like just a matter of youth and cost effectiveness has turned into a technical argument increasingly hard to ignore. Isaiah Likely has proven to be not only younger than Mark Andrews, by 5 years, but also more complete in some areas of the game. His performance as a blocker, for example, is a clear advantage that puts him ahead in strategic situations, especially in formations that require more physicality. Mark Andrews, although a well-established name and a locker room reference, has always had limitations when it comes to blocking. His excellence as a receiver was never in question, but the modern NFL demands tight ends who can do a bit of everything, and that is exactly where Likely has been gaining ground. He delivers versatility and balance, two attributes that weigh heavily in building a more unpredictable offense. This technical superiority in fundamental aspects of the game adds to an economic factor that is impossible to ignore. Likely costs less than half of what Andrews represents on the salary cap today. In a league where the financial ceiling is decisive, swapping an expensive veteran for a younger, cheaper, and more versatile player becomes a tempting option. Even more so when the replacement has already proven on the field that he is ready to take on greater responsibilities. But before any radical decision is made, the Ravens must deal with an important detail. The 3 tight ends on the main roster are entering the final year of their contracts. This is the kind of scenario that forces tough choices in the near future. The 2025 season will be decisive for the future of the Ravens' tight end core. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Charlie Kolar all enter the last year of their contract simultaneously, creating pressure both financially and sportingly. Keeping all 3 after their contract expire will be extremely costly, especially considering the expected rise in Likely's value, as he is likely to become one of the most sought-after names at the position on the market. This contract coincidence forces Baltimore's front office to think strategically. If they want to keep the core group, they will need to free up significant salary cap space and reevaluate the offensive structure as a whole. On the other hand, prioritizing Likely and allowing Andrews and Kolar to leave could represent a natural renewal, betting on youth, versatility, and a more efficient cost-benefit ratio. Having all 3 under contract in 2025 gives the coaching staff time to observe each player's performance, but also increases the risk of losing value without return. If Andrews or Kolar leave the team after the season, the Ravens could end up with gaps at the position and no adequate compensation. In this sense, an early move could prevent losses, whether through trade, selective extensions, or even contract restructures. The only certainty right now is that changes are coming. Likely's performance throughout the year, combined with the front office's decisions, will shape not only the future of the tight end position, but also the Ravens' offensive profile for the upcoming seasons. Isaiah Likely is ready to make his mark in Baltimore, but the real question is whether the Ravens will acknowledge that with a contract that matches what he deserves. Between the pressure to replace Mark Andrews and the need to keep the team strong, the future of the team may hinge on decisive backstage decisions. Do you think Likely will earn a spot and become the cornerstone Baltimore needs? Share your opinion in the comments. This is a discussion sure to engage the fan base in the coming months.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.